Hi, I'm Jim Adair, Director of Product Management here at Schwarze Industries. I'm proud to present a preview of the M5 Torrent SE. Right now we're going to be showing it on an international chassis, the MV607. We also offer it on the Freightliner M2 Plus. This chassis is a dual steering chassis, but we also offer the Brigade 360 AI camera system, which has a couple of auxiliary cameras to it that you can have a camera in the hopper and you've got a camera on the right-hand side. So if you're doing it with a single steer, you'll be able to see all the way around the machine. The AI feature gives you the alerts as somebody approaches the machine, or you see a bicycler or a pedestrian walking up, that gives you that alert. Plus you've got a camera looking down your sidewalk and the field of view of the broom and the approaching walk, so you'll be able to go right down the curb and gutter from the left side of the machine without having to have dual steering. It's a great feature. Another thing on this, and we'll show you a little bit later, is our controls on this. We've gone in, we've simplified the controls somewhat by getting rid of 24 switches, rocker switches on there. Now what we've done is we've replaced those switches with a palm pad that has multiple features on it. Plus there's some redundancies within the touch screen. So it's got a much larger screen, so it's easier to view. When you're doing a view at a glance, it's easier to pick up. It's a higher definition monitor. Plus it's also a touch screen, so you can go into some of the features and just touch those features, and they'll come up and you'll get a plus minus or whatever the adjustment needs to be, and you can make that adjustment right on the screen. But we'll be talking about that as we go along. But as we do a walk around the machine, this machine is based on a machine that we've been building for about 3 years now for the DOT. The DOT had to have a machine that couldn't go over 20,000 pounds on the rear end with a full load in the hopper. So that basically set the platform up to go into a non-CDL truck. So with that said, with what we did is we moved all our components from the back end, our hydraulics, our pneumatics, our electrical, from the back compartment and put it behind the cab. They do seem to stay a lot neater and cleaner up in the front. They're easy accessible in the front. We also changed the hopper to it's a little bit thinner metal, but it's stainless steel. It's a higher strength stainless steel. And then our scissor, we went with a higher yield strength tubing on that to give us more strength and less weight. And then the back shrouding and cowlings are aluminum to also reduce weight. So that we've done all this to where you can maximize your payload in the hopper without giving up any type of performance. This is basically from the brooms, the hydraulic systems, everything is a M6 machine. And since we moved the components forward, on this side of the unit, we've got accessible the electrical box. So you don't have to pull the hopper up, you don't have to open any doors. Your electrical box with your fuses for the back end, your relays, they're all enclosed right here on the side of the machine. 6 simple quarter turn screws, and the cover comes off, and you can get right to there to access it. Very seldom would you need to do that in a normal mount, but if you're doing any service, it makes it very serviceable on the side. We also put the shutoff on the side for the hydraulic tank. You've got a stainless steel valve here. All of our fittings coming out of the tank are O-ring style fittings. We don't use any MPT in the hydraulic tank, even on the low pressure side. Those are all sealed fittings. Also on the hopper, where we're going into the scissor lift, we've improved on the scissor lift. A lot of times when people were getting in really high loads and rather than dump, they just continue to load into it. Sometimes the scissor lift could feel that surge, and it would be a little hard to get up. And what we've done is we've put in a couple of Hepper cylinders in there. So those cylinders basically help it for that first 6 inches of lift when you do have a full load in there. They also cushion the retraction as that hopper comes down and sets. They're almost as absorbers that slows the hopper down right where it sets into the cradle. Very good feature. We still have the ladder on the side as we had before. The safety chocks are stored underneath the scissor lifter, so they're available as soon as the hopper comes up. You still have the side door for viewing into the hopper, so you give you access into your front of your conveyor and into your hopper to check your load. And the gutter broom, there is not a divergent from the M6 gutter broom. Heavy duty, 5-segment, 26-inch bristle gutter broom. Has the stowage hooks in it for transport, so it comes back just like the M6 does. Pneumatic control for geo in and out. That's the gutter broom extension override, and we also use the pneumatic cylinder to lift and also control the down pressure of that broom, just like the M6. As we move to the back, our conveyor. That is different on the M5. It's something that we're moving toward. This is a full width conveyor. So this conveyor, as the M6, it can be swapped out with either a squeegee style or a belt style conveyor. So you get the best of both worlds, and it can be changed out just like the M6, but it is a full width. It's the same, the conveyor is the same width as the main broom, which is 58 inches. There is no transition from the broom to the conveyor to a little bit narrow section there. It's a straight back approach, and we've got very, very good results on that so far. We have been running that with our M4 for quite a while, and have noticed an improvement. So as we go into changing machines, we progressively go into some of these changes. And if you'll notice, the pneumatic cylinder that would normally be vertical on the M6, we've moved that forward to move the weight forward, and it now is having a cable that lifts up the back. The cable is way overrated for what it's actually doing, but we've had very good results out of that, and we've added a remote regulator onto that system to where we get a much higher rate of response for any kind of dips or whether it's going over a hump. The air pressure reacts to it much quicker with the remote regulator right there at the cylinder. We also have an auxiliary tank. The air tank is there for providing the air needed for the operation of the sweeper itself. And back here at the business end of the sweeper, where the main broom is, we're still running that 36-inch diameter broom, 58 inches wide. This one actually has a stub shaft type broom on it, to where you can remove 3 bolts on either side, and the whole broom section will come out of the back end. We've also changed the pillar block bearings, or gone to a pillar block bearing from a 4-hole bearing to a 2-hole bearing, to where if you want to remove the bearings bolts on either side, 2 bolts on either side, you can remove the bearings and the shafts all in one piece. So it's much easier to access and service your back end on the back end. As far as the claim to fame on our drag shoes, our dirt shoes are still got the elastomeric member in there that allows that shoe to give and flex when you're going in and out of a cut or bumping up against a curb. It keeps that from bending in the back. We've got the tethers on there. If something were to happen with the rubber over time, it maintains your rubber or your runner to the skid itself. All the sides where your dirt shoe plate against your conveyor have got a wear area there, to where it won't, instead of wearing the metal, it's wearing against a UHMW ultra high molecular weight plastic there to give it a bearing block to work against. The back of the machine is available with multi options as far as the lighting goes. We have strobes into the bumpers. We have strobes where you can have on the back panel, reflective striping on the back end, multiple beacons on the top side. Here we're showing a mini bar on the center, which we can do up to 3 across the back end. We can do arrow board, both the large split arrow boards or the traffic guide arrow sticks. Those are all options for the M5. Also have the fill on the back end, just as we would on an M6. Your hose storage is actually built into the bumper itself, and then your three-way valve for loading or filling the water tank is right here. And then if you shift, you're cleaning your elevator. So that shifts the water over into your elevator, and you run your elevator and clean your flights on the elevator itself. The lower control here, or this control to the side, is if it was a belt conveyor, it would also have a hose that would go over to the opposite side of the conveyor and be a lateral washout. So it cleans out that bottom shaft, and if anything accumulates on that shaft, it will wash that out. And so if we had a belt conveyor, that would be a hose on that. And in the curbside compartment on the back end for your water tank, you have your water pump. You've got your vacuum indicator for the water pump. You got your solenoid valves for all of the spray bars. You've got 5 nozzles on the back main broom, 7 nozzles on the front broom. You got 4 nozzles on either side on the gutter brooms. Those are all controlled right here. Also, we're running a 5-micron filter that's post water pump that filters out any impurities that is missed by the strainer or the fill strainer. So you've got a fill strainer from the hydrant, you've got a suction strainer that goes into the pump, and then you got a 5-micron that keeps the smaller particles from getting into your valves and into the nozzles themselves. So you're not having to take each individual nozzle out. But behind each one of those nozzles, we also put a nozzle filter there to catch any material over long periods of time. So on the right side or curb side of the machine, we also have another access door that gets into the side of the conveyor. That gives you access for your lubrications, also gives you access to a hose barb here that you can connect to, or hose bib. You can put a garden hose on for wash down. You get about 70 psi out of that. Generally, people are already set up with their wash systems when they return to the shop and don't use the one on board. Again, it's got another pneumatic cylinder. That pneumatic cylinder controls the right side of the broom. That way you can adjust the brooms independently to prevent coning. If you see a cone going in there, you can change your pressures just a little bit and let your broom wear evenly. And also on these cylinders are pneumatically locked or mechanically locked. And as soon as the pneumatics come away from it, if you lose pneumatics or you turn the system off, it turns pressure off to that. And as soon as that does, it has a mechanical brake that locks that cylinder rod in place and keeps the broom from drifting down. And on the curb side, we still have the dump door. It's a 48-inch door that reaches over into the middle of your dump truck, dumping the load off without having to side shift the hopper. Same feature on the M6. We haven't really reduced a lot of the area inside the hopper. It does have a weight alarm on there to keep you from overloading, to prevent you from going over the non-CDL rating of the basically 26,000 GVW. Because a lot of times you may not be picking up heavy, dense material. You may be picking up lighter material that you need the capacity or need that volume area. So we left the hopper along without having to shrink that down and leaving that up to the operator. And a lot of times you're going to be sweeping. You'll be sweeping on a construction site or where you may be picking up a little bit more than the capacity. It gives you the ability to do that. But yet you're not going to be transporting that load on the road to where that's where the DOT would have a problem with being overweight. All right, all your hydraulics that were normally in the back end of the machine, they did also move forward in the pneumatics. Pneumatics is all into a NEMA box that has a clear cover on it. That clear cover allows you to see your regulators and see your outputs of your regulators in case you ever wanted to match your pressures and see if making sure that your pressures on the valves are exactly what you're seeing on the console. It's a great troubleshooting feature, and also troubleshooting features. We've got all our connectors are lit. The DIN connector is a lighted DIN connector. These Deutsch connectors that we've gone to, they're weather sealed, and then they light up when you activate the function. So if you're checking functions out, you can activate it in the cab. You can come out and check it out here and make sure that you are getting a connection all the way to the valve. Should you ever have any issues, these valves have a manual override on there to where you can raise or lower a hopper, anything that's critical. As far as, if you were stuck and the hopper was in the air, you can actually manually override that hopper and lower the hopper down. All your brooms are pneumatic, so if you were to lose hydraulics, your brooms will raise just with the air pressure from the chassis. We've also gone in with color-coded tubing. So the color-coded tubing is the yellow tubing is all your left pneumatics. Your green tubing is on the right pneumatics. Your red is your primaries that are going into the tank, and also your pilot lines, and then your blue lines that are running on the machine are all your water lines. So it's easier to trace and follow your different pneumatic and water lines on the system.